everyone. How are you doing today? I noticed that Alice has the opportunity to join us today in chat. It's good to hear from you, Alice. And Mary R is with us as well. And we are at 4 o'clock straight on with no computer glitches. So let's see what happens as the day goes by. Okay, I have a box worth of stuff. I don't know that I'm going to get through all of it, but I will definitely try. Let's see. Alice, you tap dance? That is so cool. It's starting to be a lost art for a lot of people. It's not their usual thing to head towards. So I'm glad that you're still carrying it along. Teaching somebody else, I hope, as well. Okay. Let's take a look here. We have got some Lisa Horton today. And Mary, just checking on you and your brother. How are things going? Okay. We've had some of these before, but I'm just going to kind of quickly go over some of them with you. And there's a couple that I don't recall seeing recently, but I've been having a tougher time keeping up with what's coming in and what's going out. And so there are things that are probably in here from last fall that I have completely had go in one side and out the other. So let's take a look. Let's start with this set first. Okay. So Lisa Horton has her collections that have the embossing folder that also will sometimes have dies. This one has a die in it, so it cuts out the entire top to the bottom, and it kind of gives you that idea of a walking path, like a beach type path. It gives you a wood grain all the way up into here. And from there, you've got your flowers. So I think it's kind of like a beach. It says tropical panel, but I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with this, including making a card that maybe sat more like upright. Have to think about that a little bit. Just take a couple of folds and you could technically make a tent card out of this and it would look beautiful. So anyways, let's see. This is the stencil that goes with it. So you can see in there, there's a really close wood grain feel to the panel. And then you can see the hibiscus and I'm not sure, vanilla, maybe, jasmine, a little bit of fern. So here you can really see the detail in the flowers. And in her stencils, I always feel like it doesn't do it justice for the end result, just because she's added some colors to give you the idea, but without having the embossing folder in there, it really pops with the embossing folder. So if you've used one of her stencils before and you like them, but you haven't done the embossing folders yet, I would encourage you, this would be a great one to do that with. So, because it cuts out the whole thing for you in one fell swoop. So you can paint, emboss, and die cut these, and it would go so quickly. So that is the thought with that one. Mary R says, brother's doing well. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Mary.
Hi, Norris.
Hi, Norris. How are you doing today? I am glad that people are saying hello. It's a nice summery day for some people. If you noticed when we first started, I've got a sweatshirt on because, yeah, I didn't look at the weather last night. And so I just got dressed and walked outdoors and it was cold and drizzly. I went, that was a poor choice, but I was already having to head out the door. So off I went. Grabbed this sweatshirt as I came out and went, well, it'll have to do for the day. This is the Lisa Horton background of roses. And then here is the embossing folder that goes with it. These turn out so pretty with using your gilding polishes, and you can use those polishes with the stenciling. You don't have to use paint. You don't have to use stamp ink. You can do all different kinds of things on these stencils. Just be prepared that you need to wash them off. And if you don't want them to stain, then you'll want to make sure that you use water-based items. And I think that for the most part, I still tend to, anytime that you have like a really vibrant red, even in your stencil, you can't quite get it out all the way. But these are just so pretty. This does not include a die. It is the embossing folder because it's basically the background to your 5x7 card.
Hi to Mary T.
Hi, Mary T. And Adeline, excuse me. Yes, hello. So glad to see more and more people joining. Okay, here we have our rose corner. This is beautiful, stenciled. I have this one at home and it is so pretty. And I guess that I should have probably brought an example with me today, but I did not. Isn't that pretty? You can take this set, and if you wanted to add it, because it is an embossing die on the back. So yes, they've made it an embossing corner, and it is truly this big. So this is a 6x6. So it makes a full 6x6 card. Or I throw it out there to you guys to use the embossing folder part and then run your die and use it truly like a corner. Like glue down the one section in a corner and you can slip something in these spaces. And you can even make it blend with your embossed background here too. So it kind of gives you a 3D effect when you add these two together. And you can throw in some extra colors in the background that maybe are lighter, and then some more really pronounced colors in the front. I don't know if that gives you any neat ideas, but it's definitely one that I enjoy. Okay, we have, and I don't know if we have the stencil for this one, so I'm just double checking. This one is a 6x6 of brickwork. It's just going to give you those fun little bricks. And it embosses out the shape. There's no actual brick texture. So I just don't want to have you surprised and think that they have brick like the wood has wood. But they are just the little squares, but they would certainly make a great brick background. Good for mail cards. You can use those with tools, garage, you name it. And also your why can't I think of it in the moment? Steampunk kind of a thought process as well would work with that brick really nicely. Do you know if Hunky Dory is shipping their new dies to Debbie? They are made in China and they won't send them to customers in the US. Wasn't sure if that included resale companies too. Yes, it does. So the dies especially have always been a little bit more expensive because of the steel cut. With things that already did exist in the process, weight, things like that. But with the cost of tariffs, until that changes, it's just too out of reach at this point in time. If things are in the States and already currently in the States, then we can mail them. It doesn't cost any more for us, anything that we already have purchased. So Debbie did her last hurrah of dies recently, and that is pretty much the last of what we're going to have for a while. I don't know how long this will take. It may take some adjustment. We just don't know what's going to happen in the future. We're trying to figure out how that's going to look. But you are absolutely right. They are not. There are a lot of people that aren't mailing them because of the tariff cost. And people are surprised when they get them. And then it gets to be quite a bit of a little messy. Hi, Karen. How are you? This is the Floribunda Element embossing folder. And these have the dies. I like the fact that it's one pass through. So you've got these pieces that you can color with your stencil. And then you can just literally roll those through the embossing folder. Make sure that you spray the back of your paper when you do that before you run it through the embossing folder, and it will emboss all of these little 3D. It will really pop in that vase and make it look like, I won't say real because it's still painted, but by having that extra bit of embossing, and you can build and build upon them to the point where this could give you a 3D to this, and this one can be also, yeah, I can't point today. This one, you can make those 3Ds and they will totally make it pop. Foam squares, you'd have it made. And it's nice because you don't have to tape on each one of these by hand. I think this was really, really smart of Lisa Horton to do this way. So we also got in, and I know that we've done these in class as well as had them shown before, because we've bought them and we sell out and then we buy some more. So if you are someone that hasn't gotten them yet, I would encourage you to do so, just because I know that with everything that's kind of going on, these were some of the last few bits of dies, because believe it or not, these are considered dies that come from Canada. So we made sure that we did even these purchases right before tariffs started. And fortunately, it sounds like Debbie had the UPS, I believe, they decided that they were going to start doing tariffs like almost a week and a half early. And it completely threw her for a loop. And then they started doubling up on some of them. It was crazy. So she has fortunately been able to go through and receive a refund from them. But just be aware, it sneaks up on you. You don't think that it's that big of a deal, but it really is at the cost of the tariffs currently. Ballroom dancing and Latin dancing.
Hi to Glenn.
Hi, Glenn. This is our Christmas embossing piece as well. And look at all those greenery. I do not believe that we have the stencil for this. Let me double check, but she's done it again with the dies being all in one fell swoop. So I think that that is a really smart thing. And these, as you know, you don't have to use the stencils. It makes it a little bit easier if you want to use things like the gilding polish, but you can totally even use your new Jane Davenports or our Cosmic Shimmers. That's the Jane Davenport and that's Cosmic Shimmer, or ours from the past where we've had our pearlescent palette pack. So you can use any of those with these and paint it instead of stamp it or stenciling it, and you will have very individual pieces of Christmas greenery. So this is a worthwhile pack to have. And then this is a new corner. This corner is called the Contemporary Corner. And I did not, when I was looking, see it, but I'm just going to double check in the box really quick that I didn't somehow miss it. Nope. Okay, so this is another one that we've got the embossing folder of for a corner piece. 6x6 card is what it will make, and then you've got the embossing, the die that goes with your embossing. And then she came out with dies that are called washi dies. It's a white wash floral set. And I wish that I could say that we're definitely going to be able to offer you the prints that go along with this, because it's not like the embossing folders and the dies. It really does have some coordinating papers that go with it. And so I don't want you to be surprised, because this is what you are receiving. So there isn't a lot of extras that go with it. So I'm just giving you a heads up to make sure that you can still get a hold of those papers, or maybe you already have those papers and you didn't know that it had dies. So those are two good uses for them. But the other thing, I guess you could go ahead and just kind of cut and make your wreaths out of some really beautiful paper, and you could have floral wreath looks and garland looks. And you can definitely, especially those that enjoy painting, you could have a lot of fun filling those in. I'm not that good at painting. Let's see. This is the ultimate accessory pack. So we have our ultimate 1 and our ultimate 2 that we've had in the past. And this is something that's an add-on to your ultimate 1 or 2. And it's giving you a rotating stamping tool. So it's got your foam. It attaches on, if you can see those little holes right there, it attaches on to your ultimate, the little tool, the multi-tool ultimate kit. Platform. Thank you. That's the word that I'm looking for. Thank you. It goes right onto the platform. You can put your foam underneath. You can use this as just as you normally would for any of our stamping platforms. But this is not only going to hold it in place, but you can lift it up and rotate it and move it into another corner, set it down without having to do quite as much fiddling, because if you had to do that, then you're moving your paper and it's not going to give you as a precise, clean piece as this will, because it's this that you're moving instead, and it will latch right into each one. And then it has this lovely foam piece, but I think that that's really just a protectant for it. Let me double check, but I really just think that it's a protectant. I would hate to be wrong and then. Okay. It says with dense foam mat on it. It does have the grid lines. You can flip and move it each different direction. Yes. So it is the 2 bottom. It's not this piece of foam, but hey, this could be something handy too, just to keep it from scratching, things like that. So they've tried to make sure that they've give you that as an option as well to go into your pack. And we still have some ultimate 2s in stock. So this is a lovely thing to go with it. And so that is the Lisa Horton pack. Alrighty. Onwards and upwards. Maybe. Alrighty. So Debbie did some purchasing of some beautiful flowers and our water transfers and some paper packs. Let me think. There's some more. There's some embellishments this time around. And then if you haven't looked at the store for new add-ons, we have these beautiful chipboards. And I'm going to tell you something. She's put quite a few of these on a good sale. So Debbie listens to the video to see if she's missing anything so that she can give you an updated newsletter as frequently as she can. And so Debbie, this is for you. The sale that you put on these, if you have taken it off, we're just showing them today, so you might want to throw them back on sale. Okay, so this one says, "You are my hero," and it is chipboard. It's primed, so you can either use it by using your paints or your gilding waxes or your gilding polishes. Really, truly, any media that you choose to use will work. Foiling, yep. It will happen with that as well. So you can use it as a heat foil or as a toner foil. You'll just have to make sure that you use your toner paint on these, which makes it really nice. Because of the primed wood, it's going to give you that surface that's just going to really pick up and hold that toner and not have it absorb into your chipboard before you run it on through. So beautiful little frames. This frame is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, it looks like. 3 1/4 by 3. It's not quite square. We have some chipboard clocks, and I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, there we go. I was able to tap it out of the way. They have little hands, and so if you trying to make it move, but it's just not wanting to cooperate. Okay, there we go. Okay, see these little hands right over here? They've got the hands, and it's got a hole here and a hole here and a hole here, so you can totally have a lot of fun and actually put in a brad nail there, a brad into there, and pop it out on the other side, and you've got a little working clock that you can spin around. This one is a saying for dream big. Now, each one of these pages is like 4 1/2. So far are little ones that are kind of more triangle or 4 1/2 by 3 3/4. So that should give you a good idea when you're seeing these about how high this is. This one says, "Never stop dreaming." This one is larger. It is a 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Isn't that pretty? A little excuse me, town lantern. These would be great for Christmas time. Make a beautiful 3D piece on your card. Think about these for shadow boxes, things like that too, because it does fill in and make scenes as well. So if you enjoy making your own heartfelt creations flowers, if you enjoy using the little birdie flowers, you can totally make these into little works of art. Here's a little gate. These are also going to be about 4 3/4. Yep, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And this one is almost 5 1/2 by 2 1/4, right thereabouts. And think about the things too that we have had in the past with things like I'm trying to give you guys some great ideas to use with these. But when I see this, I think about the dream catcher that Hunky Dory did in the Lilac Moments set. And if you still have some of that hanging around, this would make a great 3D piece that would blend right in with that and look beautiful. I try and think, what could I use that with? Oh, I could use it with this, or I can use it with that. So I'm passing along my ability to say what I could do with it. Now, do I have time to do as much as I want? No, but I still get to enjoy it. Okay, so this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this is a circular, about the same size. Best wishes. And this one says best wishes and happy birthday. A little bit of chipboard frame. That's going to be another 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Circular size at 3 1/4. You make me happy. And you can pass this along with them. You make me happy. And then if they're not very happy, you can say, be happy. Just kidding. I'm a little punchy today. Okay. These are beautiful. And I will tell you that I have bigger versions of this for home decor stuff. And I have gone through and I have painted on these, not this particular one, because mine are out of wood, not the chipboard, but these paint very nicely. You can paint these different colors of greens. You can paint the rose. You can use it up through your window with some golds. And then you've also got it here down here. Or you can paint this even more so with from prime to more white and have it be a little bit more shabby chic if you want. And then this is where I will tell you that you can use acetate to attach it to the back of this and use your pearl tints or your crystal tints from Cosmic Shimmer and fill in these holes. So not only do you have a darker border color that's sitting on top, but you will have a little bit of the actual crystal tint to go down in there. And some of them are more see-through than others. So you can imagine what that's going to look like depending on which medium you use. And here's another one. This one would be easier to color and fill in those roses, but they both will do so nicely. Upside down, not that it really matters, I don't think. There you go. One of the things that they're saying on this is that you are not required, because they've primed the chipboard for you, you are not needing to put gesso on it to lock it in. So I'm not sure what they prime it with, but they've definitely taken the time to do that with these items. Another gate. My tummy's talking today. Okay, let's see. This one is more like 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. And if you're thinking about what to do with your frames, if you've got those little dies with little sayings, like be happy, but you can also have your own that you have already in sentiments, you can run them right and put them right in here, and then it becomes more of a focal point. And then again, use some of the little birdie flowers that you have, and you can make your own 3D version with the flowers built up on it. And then here's the last one. This happens to be one of my favorite gates. I think it is beautiful. Mariar, I was just thinking about Roberta the other day, and I thought, I wish that there was a way that she would be able to text again, but it hasn't come about. So I was just thinking about her and thinking, I miss her. I miss her being able to talk to. Okay. This I've been saving. We've actually had it in the store for a little bit, but I wanted to have the time to give it what it truly deserves. And so I'm going to go through and show you these. They don't have any latches on these, so just a heads up. If you're going, but they're not sealed. These aren't sealed, kind of like how some of the other companies have them put in film, and don't put the little stickies. I kind of like it without the stickies because then I don't end up with a sticky mess after I open it. So this is from Create and Craft. This is what I'm considering Debbie's last hurrah at dies before the tariffs kicked in. So these are what we have. It's called Pondering Dreams. It's an entire set. This is a designer paper pad that's going to have all your prints on them. And let me tell you, look at this. It is so beautiful. Let's see. 12 designs, 2 of each. So you're getting 24 pages, and the GSM on this is 200. Hopefully by having me hold it up, it makes it a little bit easier to see too. Some bulrushes. Isn't that beautiful? Even up there at the very tippy top, I've got a little bit of shadow. Look at that. You could use this paper in so many different ways, not just for the ducks, but this, just all of its own, is you can get cards in. It doesn't have to just be about sky, because they've given you some faraway backgrounds, and I love this. And it's looking pretty true to color. There's no gloss on these. They are regular papers, no coatings. Pretty lotuses. Sorry, water lilies. The water in these. So I'm going to actually put that back up for just a second. So it looks kind of dark, but they've really created this 3D effect with it without it actually being 3D that makes it look like there's ripples in your water. And that will come in handy as I continue to show you what this stuff has with it. Oh, Mama Duck and the baby duck. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but they sporadically put in a few dragonflies, and I love that. Now you have a family of ducks. I do not know who the artist is on this, but I will say they did a wonderful job.
Hi, Truth.
Hi, Truth. How are you doing? Thank you, Mariara. I appreciate it. This is the next one. These are just truly background pages with no pictures necessarily, artwork. It's just truly going to be those papers that you're going to use all the rest of these goodies that I'm kind of teasing you with over here to side. Okay, so look at this water. This also has two. Yep, 2 and 12 designs, 200 GSM as well. It literally looks like it's been paletted on, doesn't it? So, so pretty. It reminds me of looking through like glass when it's rainy outside. You've got all those little kind of textures from the glass, and it's a little foggy inside. It truly is just things that you would normally see in day to day that they've created into these backgrounds. They are so beautiful. Now, why am I showing you all of these papers first? Well, because I want you to remember what these papers go with. And if you have this as a point of reference, it really helps you know what I'm going to show you next and how you could use it with these. Okay, so this is a nice little pack of goodies. We've got some stamps, got little ducks. These are going to be mainly shadow stamps, dragonflies. I think that these are supposed to maybe be bubbles. I'm not positive. It could just be a splatter look because they have that in these paper packs as well. This is the die that goes with it. So you can get some shadowing in there. You could get some color in there. So can you imagine if you have and you've based your color of your duck with your stamp? You've got a shadow effect, but once you cut it out with the die, if this was, for example, black and you have greens and things that are up through the stamp that you've used, you've got yourself a gorgeous little duck. This is one of the multimedia stamps. I feel like it's really hard to see because they're really making sure that you can see all the black because that's the part that you're going to be stamping. But let me show you what it looks like on the back. And I know that it's sideways. Maybe I can do this. Now it's upside down. I know that I can do it this way and that will help. There we go. Look at that duck. So they just literally have made kind of an ombre effect based on what it is that they want to highlight. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's take a look at the back of the ducks because I wasn't sure if we were going to see more ombre or not, but not quite as much there. But you can see how you can blend them and have similar effects with a duck or a baby or because you've got all those black types of spots in there too. I don't think, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't say that there was a stamp with this one and a die. It is just the stamp. Here you've got some bulrushes, and it looks like some irises. I don't know what this one might be. I don't know if sunflower is. Oh, well, I guess I'm just kind of guessing at what could be a flower there, but according to the back color, it's a splat. So here you can see how different ones will show up. They've again done an ombre effect with these. And then these have the dies that coordinate with them. I don't want to say that they may match up. Let me see. Nope, they don't quite match up. So these are two different ways that you can use them. So you've got the stamps to give you some over cover in maybe some darker colors, give you more of a stained glass look, or just some greens. You can use some of these blended papers in your packs and put these in them, and I think you'll find that they'll be just absolutely beautiful. And this gives you some shadowing. There is some stenciling as well. That's their sample of that one. These look so familiar with the other set. I was curious if it would be similar, but they are a little bit different. So the stencil is going to give you a different look. This is another stencil. That water is going to be beautiful. And you can take your dies with those little lilies and set them into these places. And they'll just float like they're looking like they float on the water. There is this beautiful die. Let's see, what is this one called? Nature's Flourishes. So it's just going to give you some really beautiful corner pieces. You could put it into a section that is round to give it more of a pond-like feel if you wanted to. And then here is the border die, well, frame die, I should say, that goes with it. So any of these works of art, between the fact that the papers are already works of art, and then you are going to be creating a whole bunch of various different works of art yourself if you choose to have all the different items. And then this one not only has a inside die, so you can cut this piece out, but then this can be in any color that you want with a frame around the outside. So can you see? There you've got 3 different cut pieces. One would be more of an aperture, and then the other is going to be the pretty floral flourishes, and this one is called Water Lily Filigree Frame. Of course it is. What a perfect choice for a name. Okay, and look at what they've done with this. You can see how they've even kept and put in an aperture. They've added a different layer there. And I don't know if you can see it really close, but see right there? I'm going to hold it still. It's got a little stitch mark all the way around the inner die. So you're going to have this stitch mark that if you choose to build up your papers, it can have all of these different looks. So it gives you some really great ways to treat the product, even if it's just maybe you want some sky with your paper, or maybe you want to have a little bit of the background up at the top with some water down below from some of the paper pack, and it's going to do that and give you that really fine, beautiful edge. Brittany loves to leave me little notes, and I so appreciate them because she knows I can't remember from one week to the next what anything is happening, let alone my life, let alone the store. Okay, so Debbie has put this together. Bryce, I believe that we are selling these separately, but can you check really quick? Because I did not think to double check. It would be like in the store, new listings from the first part of June. So maybe like page 1 or 2. I'm sorry. I could have been asking that all the way along. But this, if you add all of the items together for what it would go for, and you went through and you said, oh, I want the whole set. I'm going to buy this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. I want them all. The cost, including the 2 pads of paper, is $163. Yeah, it's going to be like, there we go. Yep, they are for sale as separate pieces if you do not want the entire pack. And she does have a sale on them. But I will tell you right now that the bundle, if you were to buy everything, would cost $163 normally. And Debbie is selling the bundle, or Debbie's selling the bundle for $75. So if you just take that in pieces, not counting the dies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they are a little under $7 a piece. If you just said $7 for the paper pad. So if you just took it and just divided it up, which I would think would be fair, because having all of these things would normally cost you more than $7 a piece, any of these items. So by having this for $75 for 11 items that go into the bundle, you could get a lovely pack like this that Brittany has so kindly built for you. So she has them all ready to go in a bag, and I so appreciate her. So I just want to say how wonderful that is, because it makes mailing them out so much easier. So I really, really want you to enjoy taking a look, relook at it. I think that I went slow enough that you can go through and see what each of these items are. Even if you don't get the entire bundle, there's going to be a couple in there that just are really big standouts. And I think that the paper pad, because I'm sure that that's going to be a question, is the paper pads themselves are $15.50 a piece. So there you go. That's so exciting. And look, I still have more time. I thought I was doing a really great job of extending this out, but also giving you the time to see what we have. I told you last week that we got in some graphic 45, and it's all stuff that we've had in the store before, but it's just a reminder because Debbie had to purchase some more, and some of these aren't going to be for sale, as far as you can't just go out and get them anymore, because this one's one of the, yep, they're keepsake editions of our Let It Be paper pad. It's got the paper pad and the stickers and some ephemera. And this is not the one that has the die in it. So I just want to make sure that you know that. The die does add to the cost, but it is such a pretty die. I guess my mom doesn't know that I'm doing stuff right now. Okay. Let's see. Flight of Fancy. We've got some more of the 12 by 12 in. And this truly is, I think this is going to be one of the last times that she can buy it. So what's here is here. And she does a really good job of trying to keep it going for as long as she can. But we watch Graphic 45 go into the store and right back out of the store. It is a very popular thing to have. Okay, and then this one is the album kit for the Autumn Greetings. This set for Autumn Greetings sold out so quickly, and we have the card kits and the album kits still available because she just upped it again from them. But I will tell you right now, we only have just bits and pieces. So if you don't buy it in a card kit or you don't buy it in an album kit, you're not going to be able to buy the entire collection anymore because we just don't have that many. So this includes some tags and frames, your trifold waterfall folio album that's deconstructed, so you can choose what it's going to look like inside. Some metal brads. The instructions, and I don't know how many of you have purchased the album kits before, but man, they really go through and do it. Just make sure that you have all the understanding as to how to put this together with pictures as well as step-by-step directions. And these pages are not just copier papers. These are poster, almost like, isn't that what it's called? It's like a poster print or a professional print. It's glossy, and it has a nice coating that sits over the top of the ink. Which means that they're sturdier, but I recommend that you put them in a binder because I sure like mine in my binder. Because then, even though you may not have this particular item anymore, you can still make albums again and again and use them on other paper pads. If you like a particular setup and you like how it's done, you can interchange those things and make it so much fun. So, and then you get your little album kit button that's down here in the bottom. Don't ask me why I get such a kick out of these buttons, but I do. I love them. They're always so sweet. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the album cover ones, the album kit buttons are bigger than the card kit buttons. Do they have one for real, or is this your idea?
No, I'm asking if you have one.
Ha ha ha. Well, I was getting ready to make a joke about flair, but you know somebody has the Graphic 45 bug when you see someone with at least 10 flare buttons.
Yep.
And that is a referral to a movie. And if anybody can remember what that movie is, you have to wear at least 10 pieces of flare. So Graphic 45, 10 pieces of flare. If you want to leave us a comment when you get done with doing this video, you can hit the refresh button when we end. And from there, you can go through and leave in comments which movie you think that comes from. So It's a comedy. It's a joke. It's a spoof on. So we'll just give a little hint there. But if you want to leave a comment, let us know. If there's something else that you actually want to say or have questions about, or that you like specifically out of the things that I've shown you today, or you have an idea for something that maybe I didn't say and give it to the rest of the group, that is lots of various different ways that you can leave your comments. Thumbs up also helps us so much, because then that connects us with other crafters that are like you.
We already have a guess. Movie.
Oh, Alice, that was fast. We are not playing the game that gives you prizes. That's a different show. So take a look at what we have in line. I believe that it starts on page 3 for the ducks of June. Was that? I think that's what I saw was. So if you go into the new listings for June, and I believe that it starts on page 3, the bundle is there for the 75, but then all the other separate pieces are there as well. And again, they are on sale. So if you have any questions, I wrapped up. We'll be done for the day. That's amazing. Alice, it's okay if you jump the gun, but everyone else could try something different. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk. Oh, you know what? I am going to extend it out for a minute, because we didn't have a lot of people that were joining us to begin with. Debbie sent out some messages and some updates about how she is doing. And if I can figure out how to use this thing. I do not see it readily available, I thought. I read it from my watch earlier. That's probably the problem. Anyways, okay. So I will have Bryce throw in the details of what numbers look like. But so a couple of different things. Debbie is feeling pretty good as far as I'm concerned. She's got high spirits. She's enjoying her new baby kitties. Although they don't look like babies, they look about the size of a regular cat these days. Already they're growing.
Yes, they are.
And so with that, has been a great thing for her to enjoy them. And Teddy has now decided that they're not chew toys, and that
She did try and chew one today, a little bit.
I spoke too soon.
Lots of trouble. Came and hid under my desk.
Poor Teddy. I got 2 different pictures this week with Teddy either laying on the cat, or the cat laying on Teddy, or everybody laying on top of Debbie. So she was enjoying her animals this week. But one of the things that we haven't been able to say earlier, just because last Wednesday she hadn't seen the doctor yet. And that is that they were talking about radiation. I know that we covered that, but instead of it being 6 pieces of radiation, it's just going to be 3 times.
6 instead of 6 weeks, it will be 3 weeks of radiation.
3 weeks of radiation instead of, okay. Yeah. All right. See, I knew that he'd come in handy for those numbers. And so she still is supposed to be, and I've noticed that she hasn't been, but she's supposed to be playing T-Rex with the little tiny arms. So she's only supposed to move from this space and not reach. I mean, she can reach down, she can reach up, but this is as far as you're supposed to be going. So she tries to push it and tries to reach a little bit further all the time, I see. But she's got that for a little bit longer. Otherwise, she was telling me last week, towards the end of the week, that she was thinking that she would be able to come in and between the two of us, we could work together on doing some of these projects like this bundle kit. I'm showing it next week, the 49 and Market Summer Porch. And so there are a few things that we already have on our list to try and get done for the summer. But she's feeling so much better. And she has the requirement on her for another week and a half approximately of, or actually Wednesday to Wednesday. So technically she next Wednesday, she should be able to start moving her arms a little bit further out and is going to start getting some stretches. So we were talking about within 2 to 3 weeks, she should be able to feel up to doing some classes again on Saturdays. And so we've got some good information and plans in place. Let's see, what else is there? She went through and there were a couple other things in there too with the doctor. Some of this, one of the things, and I'm not going to quote it quite right because I should have had it ready on my watch. It was explaining that the radiation, the goal is to get just the little bits of possible cells that are left behind, but that it looks like a nice, clean, good bill of health for what the surgery did, what the surgery was supposed to do. That's probably the best way that I can explain it. Was there anything else that you can think of adding in there?
No, well, she'll have, there are some side effects to radiation, but because it's only 3 weeks instead of 6, it's very possible those will be very minimal. However, being tired is one that will probably most likely come from it. So we'll be, once we start radiation, there may be some a little bit more tiredness.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
it's not going to knock her out as hard as chemo.
Yes.
That is definitely what they told her too. So, however, it is definitely going to make her tired. But let's see, in the midst of in between the surgery part and the starting radiation part, she and Brittany sat down last week and have everything planned out for the Craftaganza for Hunky Dory. So it will be coming. The dies will not be included this year, but everything else should be included with the regular Craftaganza type. And there's some ultimates as well as some regular of the four different packs. So the snowy, the contemporary, the classic, and the fun. So I definitely know those 4 packs will be available as well as toppers. So they should be coming. It's just going to see how long it takes the boat and the in the port of entry spaces in order to get those processed, and then they'll be to us hopefully really soon. So I hope that you have a good night. I took 3 extra minutes of your time this evening. See, I went over again. So have a great rest of your night, and hopefully this gave you as much information as we could. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.